Hey, y'all. So I decided that I wanted to start watching Saturday morning cartoons. So I have watched Rainbow Bright part one and two. And baby, let's just go ahead and get into it. I'm Relly, and this is Saturday morning cartoons. All right, so Rainbow Bright, boom. I loved Rainbow Bright when I was a kid. Like, honey, I had the Rainbow Bright sheets, I had the curtains. Okay, I love a good rainbow to this day. All right. Roy G. Biv is all right with me. You understand? So, boom, let's just go ahead and get into it. I did not remember any of this, right? Did you know Rainbow Bright's original name? No, you did not. It's Wisp. Her name is Wisp. Okay. So, Wisp hears a voice, and the voice says, they said the voice says, hey, you want to go save the colorless land? And Wisp is like, yeah, all right, I'll go. I'll do the thing. And so the instructions are, so they put her in a little orb and they send her down to this colorless land. And her instructions were find the light and color of the land and let it free. And the voice says, what does the voice say? It says, look for the sphere of the light. So that's all she know. That's all she got for herself. And she's like, all right, I'm going to find the sphere of the light where it's at. So she's walking, and now, baby, she is in the valley of the shadows of death, huh? It's colorless, things coming at her. She's like, whoa, what's going on? And running in the opposite direction is a little sprite. Child, I didn't even know what a sprite was. I had to look it up. I was like, now, what's a sprite? A sprite is just like a fairy and a Twinkie and just a little wonderful littleness, like a twinkle. What is it? Fairies, twinkles, something like that. So a sprite is a little gnome like helper, and they're furry and awesome. So we love them. And so the sprite is running in the other way. She's like, hey, where you going? The sprite is like, and his name is Twink. He's like, I'm getting the hell out of Dodge. You don't see all this here? I'm out of here. And he's like, what you doing here? And she goes, well, I got to, I'm on a quest. I got to go set the light, the color free so that we can all have color in the land. And so he's like, all right, adios, and I'll see you later. But he goes running on. So she's like, all right, just going on about her about her business on her quest. And somehow something comes, and so he shows up. She's in big trouble, but you know who's there? Twink. He's like, I guess we gonna do it together, friend. You out here just wanting to save the world, I'll come along. And so now they fighting all the manners of tomfoolery and running for their lives. And then they come across, so now they make it to the castle where Twink is like, I done told you the people that go around there don't never come back, but here we are, and here it is. And so she's like, oh, my hand is so cold. It's other little frozen little sprites. And so again, Twink is like, didn't I tell you? And then she goes like, Sprite, Twink, your hand is so cold. And he's like, Wisp, I'm frozen, child. They done started to freeze little Twink. So she's like, oh no, little Twink. She goes, you have to believe. If you believe, you can set yourself free. Come on, Wisp, and give us a word, okay? Yes, that's it. If you believe it, huh? Then you can what? Achieve it. And that's what we learn around here from the Rainbow Bright. Well, excuse me, it's Wisp as of this point. Okay, good. And so some little fire breathing nonsense comes along and, shoots the fire at little Twink. And then you know what? He gets set free. Come on, Twink, free yourself. And so then they're walking along and they find this wonderful little horse. Well, a big horse. Starlight is amazing. And he lets you know, baby. Starlight lets you know, excuse me, you see all this fabulousness here? Okay, Starlight. So, I don't know if the kids call the word cunt, right? Or it's cunty. And I think that Starlight was giving us real cunt. He was like, amazing. And it is, right? And so, but he's frozen, child. And so she's like, wait, I can feel his heart his heart beating, and he's alive. And so how do they break him free? I don't know. I forget how they break free, but Starlight gets broken free, and now, baby, they are on a quest. And so somehow these people just believe in this little girl and her ability and her desire to want to bring color into the land. And so they are fighting all manners of tomfoolery. It's piranha, It's horned worms. And I also had to take a picture. I was like, this looked like some old Jurassic Park nonsense. See, there is nothing new under the sun. For all you people that are like, I had it first, listen, okay? It had to start somewhere, so y'all cut that out. All right, listen, people just get to imagine, and sometimes you catch a vibe and you catch the wave, and it's the same wave that everybody got going on. You understand? Okay, great. I'm glad you got that together. And so now they are fighting the water, even though that's where they're supposed to go. They were told, because Starlight, no. So they done put their heads together, and Starlight was like, well, the legend has it that if this belt you looking for is in the river, I know how to get to the river. So they go looking for the river. Child, ain't no river. It's no river. What are we going to do, Starlight? But somehow in all of the mishigas going on, you know what they find? A river, but not without the piranha biting at them and chasing them in the river. And they come across this baby. Why is there a baby in the middle of nowhere in this colorless land? You know what I'm saying? Where does child mama? Where does child daddy? Where's that?
I don't like this doubling down where your ass is wrong, but like I'm obsessed.
See there? Stuff just be going on, and I should cut it out, but I ain't doing all that. So we not have my phone sitting in my lap. And that's just me talking like I do. Anyway, but where does child family at? Why does baby just out here? Somebody gets CPS on the line immediately. You understand? All right, so boom. And now the baby start crying. I'm like, of course the baby's crying. And Wisp is like, well, let's go. This baby needs to get warm. She's probably upset because she's cold. You know what? Sounds like a plan, Wisp. So then they go into this cave, and Starlight, they're like, how we gonna get the fire going? Starlight, come on, Starlight, coming through in a clutch. And you know what they find when they get in there? One of the color kids. And they find a belt. So the belt tells them, oh snap, it's other people that you got to go and get. So now little Wisp is out here trying to save the color. She's trying to bring color back to the land, and now she got to save other people. And sometimes we be in our own situation, like, damn, another thing, Lord Jesus. Yes, right? But it's all part of the bigger story. And so what happens after they find out that they got to go find the color kids? They do. This team gets together and they make it happen. And so now all the little pieces come together like they're supposed to. Child, with Murky and Lurky on their asses. They are dumb as hell, but you know who they work for? The King of the Shadows. And I think it's important for us to understand that not everybody is good, not everybody is happy, and I don't think everybody want to be happy or want to be good. There are some people that work for the King of the Shadows. We could maybe figure out why they decided that that's where they wanted to be, but there is some darkness in the people, and we do have to acknowledge that everybody don't mean you good. Sometimes people really are on your ass and trying to get in the way of what it is that you're trying to do. You're trying to do good, and they do not want that good to happen for whatever reason. And you got to be able to discern from those people, but that we'll get into that at another time. So now we are at the battle, baby. It's happened. She done saved the people, got them in their particular stations, and she is going for this battle. She's going up against the King of the Shadows, and it's a hard battle. You understand? But you know what came through in a clutch, huh? The baby that she was saving. The baby is what? The sphere of the light. Would you look at that? And I think, and so that happens, and now they defeat the King of the Shadows, and color is restored to the land, and now we have Rainbow Land, and Rainbow Land is now run by none other than Wisp, aka Rainbow Bright. There it is. She has completed the mission. And so, if you will, you know, the voice then said, you have done good, my faithful servant, huh? And now you shall be rewarded with color and land and a people, but also she's the protector of the people. And so what did Rainbow Bright in the story of Rainbow Land Part 1 and 2, what did it teach us? Twink taught us that courage is not fearless, right? So he is terrified to go on this journey, but he had courage. He was courageous, and he connected, his little spirit connected with little Wisp's spirit, and he decided, you know what, she ain't got to go through this alone. So they were instant friends, and sometimes that's what happens while some of us are on our journeys to do what it is that we feel like we've been called to do. We will meet people in our lives that don't understand our mission and our quest that we've been given. However, they're going to join alongside us and they're going to go for it. And not because they're fearless, but because they have courage. And courage is needed on the journey, because you are going to come up against all kinds of things. And some of those things are going to be your greatest fears. Baby, let me tell you something. The journey to sitting here in this chair to talk to you people has been a very long one. Ma'am, that way, please. Go that way. Child, my little big baby, 105 pounds. She's a Great Pyrenees and a poodle mix, and I love her so much. She's the sweetest little girl ever, but she just be on my nerves. But anyway, because I was in here giving y'all something good. I wish I could show you what she looks. If you see, she's over here and just needs love, I guess. But anyway, so courage is what's going to be needed for the journey. And people, you are going to need people, and you are going to hope that you have some good ones that come to you along the way. So you're going to need some color kids. You're going to need Twink. You're going to need Starlight. You're going to need people on the team to help you get the job done. And that is what Twink had. And so did, little Wisp. She just was like, somebody came along, was like, hey, you want to go save the land? And she was like, sure, I'll do it. And that's what happens in our lives, right? And so what we also learn is that Wisp keeps expanding the mission. Every time she's like, she sees something over there yonder, she's like, well, we can't just leave them. And she doesn't. Wisp is going to make sure that everybody is okay. And I would say some first daughters, right? The oldest daughters, I think that they understand that a great deal of the time. Sometimes you don't want to. Sometimes you're tired as hell. It's really the matriarchs and patriarchs of the family, the good ones, that just won't leave a soldier behind. And so they just keep taking on more and keep taking on more. However, what we learned from Rainbow Brite in this story is that sometimes they're needed. You need those what seemingly are distractions, but they're really not. They're there to help you get to wherever it is that you need to be. If Rainbow Brite, little Wisp, had not saw that baby and picked her up and was like, we can't just leave her here, they would have never gone to the cave, which means they would have never started the fire. They would have never found the belt. They would have never known about the color kids that needed to be rescued. Like, all of those things just wouldn't have happened. And then in the very end, when she was fighting her biggest, greatest adversary, the King of the Shadows, it was the baby that she saved first that came in clutch and helped her on her journey. Yeah, it all comes together. So what do we learn is that compassion is part of the quest. You got to do it. You got to have it. It's needed, and it can't be. And sometimes it's really, really hard, especially when you got Murky and Lurky on your ass and they working for the King of the Shadows, and you like, yo, no more. You hear me? I can't go no more. Sometimes you do have to go, and you have to give a little bit more, and you have to have compassion for people. Even when you don't have nothing what it feels like yourself, you have to have compassion for others, because that's going to help you on your journey. And, so there's just that. That is my takeaway from Rainbow Brite, episode 1 and 2. So I figured I'm going to do the cartoons that I loved. Rainbow Brite, the Get Along Gang, the Popples, and Jem and the Holograms. Like, that's where I'm at for right now. I really wasn't a fan of the Smurfs, so I don't know. But if you've got some cartoons and you want to watch along with me, then get on over here, get into the comments, and let me know. So it's been great. Thank you so much, and I shall talk to you guys later. Bye.